Holy sh**. Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Blade Drummer and I am back for another review. The amazing WandaVision has finally come to a close, and I know I haven't done reviews on each episode like quite a lot of people have, but when I watched the finale, I just had to talk about it to you guys. And this is going to be spoiler heavy, so if you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it right now and then come back and we can enjoy the review together. If you have seen it, grab yourself a drink, sit back, and let me tell you all about it. One of the big questions that all the Marvel fans have been asking for is, how the hell is this going to end? And the answer is, tremendously. Very busy, some fantastic action, heartfelt, and it just hit me right in the feels. And by the end, it's just so satisfying. There was one or two bits that I wasn't completely okay with. I'll get to those in a bit. Now, the finale was definitely aware that it had a lot of loose ends to tie up, and for the most part, the writers did a great job at doing that. We start directly where we left off, with Wanda facing off against Agatha. Agatha is desperate for the power that Wanda wields, and even though Wanda doesn't quite know how to use her powers to a full extent, that's going to soon change. Wanda's entire life has been about adapting, whether to her parents' death, the powers that she got from the Mind Stone, her brother's death, or her role as the Avengers. She has adapted and changed in order to survive. And that's exactly what happens in her battle with Agatha, teaching her more about the rules of her magic. While Agatha thinks that she is outsmarting Wanda, Wanda takes on the role of a student, and she is absorbing anything that she can from the old witch. That duality and antagonistic student and teacher relationship is reflected in the equally dramatic scenes between the Vision and his new white counterpart. While White Vision was sent to Westview to destroy Wanda and her family by sword, it's not long before he's outsmarted by the Vision that Wanda created to fix her grief. In one of the best moments of the series, Paul Bettany gives an incredible performance, acting against himself in a philosophical debate around existence itself. It's a truly powerful exploration of the character and of the idea of personhood itself. With all that action going on, and there's a lot of it, you could be forgiven for thinking that WandaVision has forgotten about the thing that makes the show so special: its heart. Don't worry, that box of tissue sitting near you will still come in handy, because as much as Agatha might be a force of chaos, she does seem to want to help Wanda see the truth behind her actions. When she does, our hero can no longer live in the pretense she's built around herself and her dream family. In both the comics and on screen, creators have struggled to give Wanda agency, but this series has done a lot of work to fix that, and I love it. Here, Wanda isn't a pawn for a greater scheme or an innocent used for malevolent means. She's a grieving woman who did something terrible and is finally working on her way to making it right again. While her tragedy is still front and centre, it is she who finally decides she needs to fix it. There were many theories going around about WandaVision, and one of them was that Mephisto was behind this the whole time, and that Wanda had made some kind of deal with him, or she was like a puppet. But no, this was all her doing, and there wasn't a mention of Mephisto or even a little glimmer, which I would have liked to see, but I'm still okay with the fact that it was Wanda. I think Mephisto will have a part to play, especially in the new Doctor Strange film. Speaking of Doctor Strange,
does this chattering animal speak for you?
Certainly not, I speak for myself.
I thought he was going to come in nearer to the end and help Wanda save her from herself, but no, she does it on her own volition, and she sacrifices her own happiness to save others. Once she beats Agatha and takes on the guise of Scarlet Witch, oh my god, the costume, by the way, is fantastic. They couldn't have done a better design than what they did there. I love the way that Wanda beat Agatha by placing the glyphs around the hex to make her powerless, but at first you thought she was literally just desperately trying to attack her, and also missing at the time, but when she was hitting the hex of her powers, that was making the glyphs, and it was a really nice surprise and a great touch just to show how quickly she was learning and adapting to the situation that she was in. After becoming the Scarlet Witch, Wanda has to give up her dream life in order to save the denizens of Westview, who've all been under her grief spell, and she does this without question because she knows it's the right thing to do. It's a transformative moment for Wanda, not only because she literally does a cool magic transformation into her new costume, but because she finally knows the truth about herself and her powers, and is coming to terms with it alone. She rejects the easy option, which would be to continue living in Westview under the spell of her own power with the imaginary family she's created. Instead, she decides to truly deal with the loss she feels and begin anew as herself, facing the trauma she's both suffered and caused. As brilliant as Bettany and Han have been throughout the series, Olsen has of course been the star of this show. She really sells every heartbreaking moment of the finale. Both she and Bettany make every second feel unbearably tender as they tuck their kids into bed for the last time. Vision's empathy and compassion towards his wife is a masterstroke of emotional storytelling, as it's such a great foil to Wanda's almost impossible to navigate grief. The pair share a season best exchange as they wait for the Hex to swallow them up and free Westview while erasing Vision and the boys from existence. It's heartbreaking and it had me in absolute tears. It speaks to the level of care and precision that the pair have taken with their character work.
So long, darling.
The episode ends with Wanda leaving Westview, but still being seen as a villain by all those who were her victims. But Monica sees her as more of a empathetic anti-hero. In the finale, there's not a lot of screen time for Monica, which is a shame because I really enjoyed her character throughout. However, she does have one particularly great hero moment, but in the mid-credits scene, it does show that it's being set up for Captain Marvel 2, and she's going to have a big involvement in that. Hayward finally got his just desserts when he was arrested after Darcy incapacitated him by driving into his vehicle in her food truck that you remember from the last episode. With Monica being visited by the Skrull, which was a nice surprise, and the rest of the crew just getting on with life, it definitely feels like Phase 4 is going to be very heavily based on sword and space in general. Now, of course, that wasn't the only post-credits scene. Usually in every Marvel film, you stay behind to watch the credits. You're not a true Marvel fan if you leave when the credits just start. And this one was a particularly interesting one, so I wanted to talk about it. We find Wanda at a rural mountain range, and she seems to be sipping tea, and it looks like she's found peace. However, as the camera goes into the next room, you see the other side of her, Scarlet Witch, and she's reading the Darkhold. And while she's reading it, you can hear Billy and Tommy screaming for help. And she just kind of bats it away, and then it's over. And I was a little bit concerned. I was like, you shouldn't be reading the Darkhold. That's not a good idea. And it made me have a little theory as to, are they setting up Scarlet Witch to be the bad guy in Doctor Strange? It's a very bold cliffhanger that unfortunately we won't see or hear any more of that until Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. As much as I absolutely adore this episode and it was fantastic, the only one gripe that I had was that they took away the hopes and dreams of all the Marvel fans that the Quicksilver from X-Men was going to be implemented into the Marvel Universe, and we were all so excited for it. And it just turned out to be a guy called Ralph Boner. And it was...
Boner.
Well, that sucks!
But that's the only issue that I had with it. This finale has been an absolutely fantastic way to close off this emotional ride. I feel like my score is going to reflect on the whole show itself rather than just this episode, but you already know my thoughts on this episode and how much I loved it. But as a whole, the show gets a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, go and hit that like button, as it is the best way to help me out. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more reviews coming your way. What did you think of the WandaVision finale? Let me know down below in the comments. I would love to chat to you about it and theorise over what's coming in the future. I have Instagram and Twitter. The links are down below in the description. Go and follow me on there just to see what I'm getting up to in the future. Well, that is me done for now. I had an absolute blast talking about this show. Hope you guys take care of yourselves, stay safe, and that is me, out.